everyone, this is Isaac White from the Crockett Tavern Museum here in Morristown, Tennessee. And we want to welcome you to yet another advertisement-laden Tourist Tuesday. Now, of course, the first event that we're going to talk about, and at this point you ought to know it by heart, is the event that's going to be taking place out in Fayetteville, Tennessee at the historic Camp Blunt site on June 27th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that is a special event in honor of America's 250th birthday, not only to be hosted on the site, my friends, but also to be hosted at the historic Joseph Greer Cabin. Now, if you don't know anything about Joseph Greer, feel free to go onto my channel and check out the video I did about him last year. He is known as the Messenger of Kings Mountain, and his story is one of bravery, bravado, and expansion, kind of similar to, well, a lot of the stories that we find with some of these incredible frontiersmen who stand out to us throughout American history. But what's interesting about this Joseph Greer cabin that they have out there on the site is that it's not only a replica or reconstruction of one of the first cabins that Greer had, but the actual cabin itself has some of the logs from the original cabin incorporated into the build. So it's honestly worth going out there and checking it out just to see the cabin. But of course, there's also going to be presentations and demonstrations taking place at or around Joseph Greer's cabin. Now, this event here, if you're wanting to bring your friends and your family out, well, you don't have to worry about how much it's going to cost you, because guess what? It's free to the public. So anything you want to see or do out there, it don't have to cost you a dime. Now, something that we do find interesting is that there is a little donation box attached to the Greer cabin, and if you're feeling generous, why don't you go ahead and open up your hearts as well as your wallets and make a valuable contribution to one of the best historic sites in the state of Tennessee. Now, from Fayetteville, Tennessee, which is about the middle of the state, we do have to travel a little bit further back east because, well, folks, if you go back to Elizabethton, Tennessee, at the Sycamore Shoals State Park, you will get a chance, while the weekends still last for the month of June because it's fast approaching its close, you will get a chance to watch Tennessee's official outdoor drama, Liberty, the Saga of Sycamore Shoals. If you haven't seen this yet, I would highly encourage you to. It is a tale that, is filled with romance, and it's also filled with exploration, expansion, settlement, and it has quite a bit of action and adventure, too, in regards to portraying some of the, well, shall we say, conflicts between not only the Cherokee Indians who lived in that neck of the woods, but also the conflict between the backwoodsmen, or the Overmountain men as we typically refer to them today, and the British Loyalist Army that was led by Major Patrick Ferguson at the Battle of Kings Mountain. Now, if you want to find out what times those performances are, and you want to find out how much it's going to cost per person, ticket prices, etc., then all you have to do is go on to www.thelibertydrama.com. Now, aside from that, we are ourselves having a special event on June 27th right here at the Crockett Tavern Museum from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. This particular event is entitled Natives and Newcomers, and it's going to be focusing on kind of the history of how the Indians lived before Christopher Columbus and all the other Europeans got here. It's also going to talk about, well, some of the first Europeans who got here and what were the relations like between the Europeans and the Indians throughout history. So with that being said, it is going to be quite an interesting event. We're going to have a lot of presentations with some very notable people, such as Marcus Jones from Martin Station, as well as, and I would be remiss if I didn't point him out, Mark Ledford, who is, I'm not sure if he's a member of the Cherokee Nation or that he has a good amount of Cherokee blood in him, but either way, he's a very knowledgeable individual who dresses to the nines when he does his presentations, so you don't want to miss that. Of course, I myself will be here shooting my mouth off and boring the public to death as I typically do, and we'll also have our firing demonstrations, which will be held twice throughout the day, and certainly last but not least, we have our good friend James Graves of Granger County, who is going to come on out and do blacksmithing demonstrations throughout the day. So there's always going to be something going on here at the Crockett Tavern from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. And folks, you don't want to miss out on it. So go ahead and be sure to mark your calendars down for that. Now, this event, of course, is a paid event. which means you got to give us some of that pure chink. We don't take none of that continental money around here. So the admissions prices are as such. It's $5 per adult, $4.50 for seniors and veterans, and $1 for children ages 5 through 18. So if you're looking for something to do on the weekend, you want to bring your friends and your family out, well, go ahead and mark your calendars for June 27th, Natives and Newcomers at the Crockett Tavern Museum. With that being said, of course, we are going to continue along this Friday with our mini-series, The Voices of Martin Station. Part 3 will be uploaded this Friday, and it will be available to watch at or around 6 o'clock in the evening. So, aside from all that, we're still pressing onward and upward, so we're going to go ahead and, with everything that we got going on, the stuff that we have to take care of around here, I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth, get back to work, and we hope that you've enjoyed this video, and we hope that you'll tune in this Friday to witness Part 3 of The Voices of Martin Station. With that being said, this is Isaac White from the Crockett Tavern Museum, signing off for now, saying goodbye and God bless.